I used to be addicted to soap, but I'm clean now. Today, I'm going to recap a 2010 action thriller film called Faster. A quick warning, there will be major spoilers ahead. After leaving prison, Jimmy Cullen arrives at a junkyard to meet his informer and recovers his car with a gun and some documents containing information about a guy named Prescott Ashton. After getting the information, he shoots Prescott at his office. As the FBI agents, Humphreys and Cicero, begin investigating the murder, Cullen meets his informer and, after paying him for the car and the gun, forces him to reveal more names. Meanwhile, a hitman identified as Killer is given the task from an unknown caller to kill Cullen. At the FBI office, Detective Cicero finds a videotape containing information about Cullen's background. She explains to Humphreys that Cullen and his brother were involved in a bank robbery. Although they succeeded in executing their plan, someone set them up. They were raided by some other criminals, who tortured them to get the information about the looted money. As they threatened to kill them, Cullen's brother Gary thought they were just bluffing and stopped him from revealing the information. Cullen, who was scared for his brother's life, did not listen to him and told him about the money. But the gangsters, including Prescott, Nixon, and Kenneth Tyson, killed Gary by slitting his throat. They shot Cullen as well, who was declared dead by the doctors, but he miraculously survived after the doctors implanted a metallic plate into his skull to treat the bullet wound. She believes he is now taking revenge for his brother, as he swore to kill them all. While she explains his history to Humphreys, Cullen goes after his second target, Kenneth Tyson, and shoots him right before he forcibly tries to record a video of an abducted girl. As he walks out of the apartment, Killer, who has been spying on him for a long time, tries to kill him, but Cullen finds out about it. Both exchange gunshots and try to take each other down, but Cullen manages to escape, which enrages Killer. Meanwhile, Detective Humphreys arrives at his girlfriend's house, who argues with him for not giving time to his son and forces him to take him to his basketball game. As he drives him there, Detective Cicero calls him and tells him about Kenneth's murder, while asking him to immediately report to the crime scene. Upon arriving there, he finds out Kenneth used to shoot his personal sniff films and wanted to do the same to the girl in his apartment. During their investigation, Cicero also tells him that people have seen another shooter, who exchanged gunshots with Cullen in the hallway, but they have no further information about it. After the failed attempt at shooting Cullen, Killer, who cannot bear his defeat, tells his girlfriend, Lily, about him. As Lily assures him that he will eventually get him, like he always does, he expresses his gratitude for her and asks her to marry him. Next day at the FBI office, Detective Cicero spots the scars on Humphreys' arms and asks about the drug issues. He ignores her question and tells her about his girlfriend, Maria. Soon he confesses to taking drugs, but tells her that he quit after his son was born. Cullen, who has been taking down his targets, arrives at his girlfriend Ann Porterman's place, but finds out she has moved on with her life and started a family. He questions her about his unborn child, but she reveals she aborted him after he stopped her from visiting him in prison. Saddened by the news, he leaves her house, but she assures her support and urges him to take his revenge. On the other hand, Killer gets married to Lily. As they celebrate in their unique style, he expresses his wish to quit this life and make a fresh start with her. On the other hand, Cullen plans to kill his next target, Nixon. While getting into the club, he spots him and remembers he was the one who killed his brother. As he follows him to the bathroom, Nixon quickly recognizes him and reveals that he was already expecting him. After sending the guard outside the room and deciding to face his fate, he picks up a fight with Cullen, but he stabs him and escapes. After getting out of the club, Cullen calls Nixon's son and tells him about his father. Meanwhile, Killer, who has decided to quit his job, can't help but think about his unfinished task. He eventually gives in to the temptation and plans to go after Cullen. Lily finds out about it and tries to stop him, thinking he might risk his life, but he argues with her and leaves anyway. The next morning, both Killer and the cop get ready for their respective jobs. Humphreys calls Cicero and tells her about the stabbing incident, suspecting that Cullen might have done it. She does not agree with him, but he tells her he is going to investigate the crime scene to find out if it's linked with Cullen's shootings or not. Both Humphreys and Cullen hear the news that Nixon has survived and is currently being treated at a local hospital. Cullen remembers how Nixon cut his brother's throat and decides to go to the hospital to finish him off. Humphreys, who has already anticipated this, also visits the hospital to keep an eye on Nixon. Soon Cullen arrives and shoots him right in the middle of his surgery. After hearing the gunshots, Humphreys quickly starts chasing him and finds him in the basement. They shoot at each other, but Cullen spares him after seeing his police badge and leaves. While coming back, he receives a call from Nixon's son, who asks if he is the one who killed his dad. As he confesses it, he threatens to come after him. Cullen does not try to stop him and asks him to do what he feels is right. While on the call, he spots Killer, who has been informed of his latest location. They get into an intense car chase, which ends in Cullen bursting his car tires before being shot in the neck by Killer. As he once again escapes alive, the defeat gets to Killer's nerves, and he decides to kill him at any cost. He calls his informant to update him, but is asked to finish the job at the earliest. After escaping Killer, Cullen comes back to his house and points a gun at his mother while asking about his father, as he believes he was the one who set them up after the bank robbery, because he demanded a share and they refused to pay it. His mother reveals it wasn't his father, because he died before that incident. Cullen tells he was not initially involved in Gary's plan to rob the bank, but their driver bailed out at the last moment, so he volunteered. As Gary always cared about him, Cullen wanted to return the favor, so he got involved in their plan, but lost his brother anyways. While looking at the family pictures, Cullen spots Maria, who used to be Gary's girlfriend, and learns it wasn't his father, but Maria, who snitched on them. He picks up Gary's ashes and decides to go after her. While going away from the house, he hears the sermons about right and wrong, while Humphreys returns to his office, where everyone admires him for getting so close to Cullen at the hospital. Cicero tells him that all the gang members involved in Gary's murder were minor criminals, and none of them were involved in any serious case. Meanwhile, Cullen, who is now left with only one target, Alexander JERROD, starts searching for him. As he tracks him down, JERROD, who has turned into a Christian minister, quickly recognizes him. After everyone leaves, JERROD tells him he was the subject of his past few sermons, and Cullen accepts that he heard them all. He takes Cullen out for a walk and tells him he adopted that boy, but Cullen says it won't erase his bad deeds. Although JERROD was part of the gang, he never knew about the plan to kill Gary, and even tried to stop them, but could not save him. He reveals he was only hired to guard the gates, and had no information about the mastermind of the plan. He further tells him that he went to prison after the incident, but it changed his life, as he refrained from his sins and decided to dedicate his life to saving others from the crimes he committed. Moved by his attitude, Cullen forgives him, and cannot find the courage to shoot him, and ask him to go back to his family. Later, as Cullen sits there alone in the camp, Killer arrives and plans to shoot him. Meanwhile, Detective Humphreys, who has also arrived at the spot, calls Cicero and tells her that he is going after them. She gets worried about him and asks him to wait for the backup, but he says he does not have much time, as they can kill each other at any moment. Inside, Killer sees his list of names and learns he has taken his revenge, but reveals there is still one name left, and that's the person who hired him to kill Cullen, but Cullen does not have any idea about it. As they confront each other, the cop arrives and points a gun at Killer. As Killer drops his gun after being threatened by him, Humphreys shoots Cullen, revealing he was the last person involved in Gary's murder, but Cullen could not see him. Killer, who has not seen his face before, learns that he is the one who hired him to shoot Cullen. He tells him that Cullen did not know about him, to which Humphreys reveals he already figured that at the hospital when he let him go. He also tells him that Gary's girlfriend was his informer, who told him about the bank robbery. Humphreys tries to pay him, but he refuses, saying he does not deserve it, because he could not finish his job, and leaves while asking him not to contact him again. He calls Lily and tells her he is finally coming home after finishing off his job. Meanwhile, Detective Cicero, who is on his way to help Humphreys, discovers that he knew about Cullen from the beginning of the case. She calls her senior who appointed him on the case, but he reveals he did not hand it over to him. But it was Humphreys who requested to be part of the investigation. Soon Humphreys, who now has a clean slate, calls Maria and tells her he is finally ready to make a fresh start with her. As he talks to her, Cullen surprisingly appears out of nowhere and shoots him in the head, while telling him that his metallic plate saved him. The FBI team arrives at the scene and finds Humphreys' dead body, but Cicero decides to hide the truth about his involvement in the case. Cullen scatters Gary's ashes in the sea and drives away, while JERROD begins a sermon on forgiveness. If you enjoyed this video, don't be shy, hit the like button, and if you disliked it, hit the dislike button twice, just to be sure. You should watch the full movie. Thank you very much for watching.